Hello, everybody. Sasha here. How are you all doing? So thank you for all the new subscribers and hello to the Essex Massive. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all good. So I'm recording this on a Friday afternoon, Friday the 12th of April, and this is relating to the Essex saga. So, for a quick update for anybody that is watching this that isn't aware, I was the barmaid at Racquels in Basildon in 1995 when everything kicked off. Now, there's a few podcasts I've already done that's all about this, but today is a momentous day because today I have received the letter that I was waiting for from Essex Police. Oh, yes. So, anybody that was watching the Liquid Bullet podcast, and when I was standing outside the old house that I lived in Basildon in 1995, when this all kicked off, and I said that an incident had happened and had occurred before the week before Leah Betts' party. Oh, let's pause. Yeah, so when I was standing outside the house that I lived in 1995, when this all kicked off, it was the house that I bought at the end of 1994. It was a three-bedroomed end of terrace house in the Craylands estate in Basildon. So I'd been living there since 1994, and an incident happened there exactly 1 week and 1 day before Leah Betts' birthday party on a Friday night. Significantly, it happened on a Friday, say evening rather than night. And it was an incident that back then was just, I didn't know what was going on. And I still don't know if it's linked, but it's very coincidental. So this house I lived in uh, was on the Craylands estate, end of terrace. And yeah, we used to have some parties there. I was 21 years old. And we used to have some parties there and we had lots of fun, like lots of people were doing in Essex at the time. It was the height of the rave days and we were having a lot of fun. And so I had a house and lots of my friends didn't. And so I used to have lots of back to mine and lots of parties. I'll let you know why that's significant in a minute. So the incident that happened, I'm going to actually run you through how it occurred and how it rolled specifically, and then let you know what's happened and why I've got a letter from Essex Police now and why I can talk about it. Because I was waiting for this letter from Essex Police before see what they said really before talking about it to all of you and seeing what else we can find out together. So, firstly, I'm going to set the scene and take you back to the significant dates that we're talking about in 1995. So, we know that Leah Betts' party, Leah Betts' party in November 1995 was on Saturday, the 11th of November. That's Saturday, the 11th of November. Now, as we have been talking about the Racquels Friday night, which was called Loveland, that was the only night that I worked there, and that was the Thuruggy night, if you want to put it like that. But you know, the house music, house and garage night. Um, it was on a Friday night. So, and allegedly, the pill that Leah Betts allegedly took, well, we know she took them, um, on her birthday. Well, it wasn't actually her birthday. Here's another significant point. So Leah Betts's birthday, I believe, is the 1st of November. But this party that was held for her 18th birthday party at her stepmother's and father's house the Met Police officer, Paul Betts. That party happened on Saturday, the 11th. So not the weekend after her birthday, but the weekend after that. Then, as we know, Leah Betts then died tragically, never regained consciousness, and died tragically on the nighttime of the 16th, Thursday, the 16th of November. The last ever Racquels, Friday night, when all the press was there, was the 17th, Friday, 17th November. And then we know that, is it the 4th or is it the 5th? You'll know better than me. When the Essex boys were shot dead in a Range Rover, no less than 2 weeks later. So, the incident that I am referring to that happened to me, significantly or not, as the case may be, we are here to find these things out. The incident that happened to me happened on Friday, the 3rd of November, 1995. And what happened was this. So it's Friday in 1995. And apart from being a barmaid at Racquels on a Friday night, I was also a reinsurance broker for Lloyd's of London in the city of London. And I was a commuter. And so I commuted up and down the Fenchurch Street line to the City of London and started my stuff in the city every day of the week. That was what I was doing. At the time, I had a boyfriend who I'd been going out with for, I believe, about 6 months at that point, who is still one of my best mates today. And I also had a good friend living with me at the property in question. So my house, my house. So setting the scene, it's a party house. I'm a 21-year-old girl, and I've got two girls living with me. My best mate, who also works in the city, who I commute up and down the Fenchurch Street line with, and another girl that's living in the smaller room. And then we've got boyfriends. Our boyfriends weren't actually living with us, but you know how it is. They were staying quite a lot. So on this day in question, it was a normal Friday. We were looking forward to the weekend as always, and clocked off on a Friday night in the city at 5:30 on the dot, legged it to Fenchurch Street, jumped on the train to come home, called my boyfriend before I left the office, said, yeah, we're on the normal Fenchurch Street line. Can you pick me up from Pitsea Station? Yeah, all okay. So me and my mate get on the train and then we get off only 40 minutes later at Pitsea. And where's my boyfriend? It's not, what has he done? Has he fallen asleep? And I remember sitting there going, oh, for God's sake, where is he? Come on, come on. And then, all the cabs went and everything. I was like, where is he? So I think we must have had mobile or something. And called him and called him. There was no answer. What's going on? Is he asleep? So we jump on a taxi. We jump in a taxi and it's only, 10 minutes down the road. So we jump in a taxi. And so we're arriving at my house at about 6:15, 6:30 on a Friday night. Normally, get ready, get sorted, get in the car, jump to Racquels by 9:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. So we're in the cab, we pull around, and I can see that there's lights on in my house in every window. I'm like, what's going on? We jump out of the car. No, we jump out the taxi. I walk up to my front door, and a police officer opens the front door and says, your house is being raided. Come in. Are you the owner of the house? Come in, sit down, something like that. So we were It's so mad, this memory. We were taken into the lounge, and me and my best mate sat there going, and then looking at each other, going, my boyfriend, who was at my house, who was supposed to be picking us up. So my boyfriend had been at my house all day, all day. He'd been off work that day. He'd been lounging around in my house all day. And so no sign of my boyfriend. And they're going, so where are the drugs? And we're like, nothing here. And we sat there for about an hour while there was about 12 plainclothes, CID, all kinds of drug squad, I suppose, uh, in my house, going through the cat litter tray, every CD box. They sat upstairs and read my best mate's diary. And they just kind of ransacked my house. They'd already crowbarred the front door. Oh, yes. And so this carried on. Now, I know this to be true. So here is the search of the premises. So I am one of these people, and you can probably see behind me that I collect a lot. I'm a collector. I collect a lot. And so I just carry things around over the years, memorabilia, all of these kind of things, reminding me of stuff. And you just never know when you won't want it and all kinds of things like that. So I have the warrant, search of premises, information to occupier. This is the little warrant thing that they have to leave with the owner of the property. I didn't know any. So to get this straight, I or anybody living in that property had never been in trouble with the police in any way or form. We'd not had a caution, we'd not had nothing. Nobody was drug dealing from the house. We were just having a good time. Yes, there were things being consumed, but that was how it was going. So this was like out of the blue, totally out of the blue. The boys of the blue is going on. So here we have the warrant. I'll put this on the screen or put it up somewhere. But here we have the warrant to enter and search premises, Police and Criminal Evidence Acts 1984, Basildon Magistrates Court. On the 2nd of November 1995, on this day, on information that was laid on oath by Police Constable number 1698, David Hughes. So, David, or anybody that was working with you at the time, I would like to know what information you had on me. This police constable has been in a court getting a warrant to search my house. Um, for the issue of a warrant under Section 23 of the Misuse of Drugs Act 1971 to enter and search the premises at 1 Rochester Way, Basildon, Essex, and search for controlled substances. This true warrant was signed by the Justice of the Peace, whoever he was, at 12:25 on the 2nd of the 11th, 1995. So, as I was saying on the dates, 2nd of the 11th, 1995 was the Thursday. They raided me at 6:30 on Friday night before I would normally be working at Racquels. Now, here we have the yellow sheet. See this cross here? No controlled substances found. No controlled substances found. No. So by about 8 o'clock, well, no, it was about an hour later, my boyfriend walked in the front door while the police were still there. And he said exactly this. Told you weren't going to find anything, didn't I? And I was like, be nice, be nice. But I didn't say that way. But he had a few problems with he's been not very nice. And so they'd not been very nice to him. So what actually happened to him was he had gone to leave the house to come and pick me and my mate up from Pitsea Station. And as he left the house, he got round the roundabout and he got to the petrol station that was just a little, 1 minute from the house. And he was pulled over by a police car and police. And then he was pulled straight out of the car and they put him straight on the bonnet and handcuffed him and put his hands behind his back, handcuffed him and said, "You're leaving the scene of the raid, you're coming with us." So this is so he is 19 at the time, maybe just 19, something, And he was not very happy, as you can imagine. He was taken down to the police station, strip searched, told to bend over. I believe he farted in their face, but there you go. That's what happens. And as he said to them, there's nothing in the house. Nobody's drug dealing here. Why are you raiding this house? What the fuck's going on? They didn't tell him anything, but they had to release him, obviously. And so he came strolling back into the house in not very happy chappy. Don't blame him. And that was the end of that. And that was the Friday before the weekend of Leah Betts' birthday party. Now, something also significant happened that night. So I also became aware when the police were in the kitchen and they're on their radios, like see, rah, 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 and radio, police radio. I've had to learn a bit of police radio code recently, but anyway. So they're on the police radio and they said, I heard them go, "We've got a result in South Church." So I then found out later that night that my friend, raving friend, that had been doing a little bit of just supplying to mates, really, just supplying to mates. I found out that he had been also raided at exactly the same time as I was. So I believe this is what they call a sting. Any police officers out there want to advise me more about this, but this is Essex Drug Squad. Essex Drug Squad, some reason, for whatever reason, on information that they have been given, have decided to raid my house. So, and my mate was um obviously arrested and he was caught with significantly 28 apple ecstasy pills. Apples being the batch of pills that notoriously were the pills that Leah took. And I took them. So anybody that's seen the podcast. So I have said quite clearly, and everybody knows this, that Mark was dealing in Racquels for the big, bad, but horrible bully on the payroll for him because it's all controlled by the door, not the other way round. And I had apples given to me on that Friday night, the weekend after I got raided, and the night before Leah Betts' birthday party. So my mate was caught with 28 apple scales and arrested, and he was never seen again. Now, I'm told that he left the country or somehow managed to leave the country, but he was never seen again. I don't know what happened to him. I'm not going to say his name for obvious reasons, but he was lovely. I loved him. He was a good friend and little guy, sweet as houses. Don't know whatever happened to him after that. So, I'm just, so as you can see, it was a very intense time already. So I was kind of rolling with the punches. So I've gone from Friday, everything's amazing, and then come home to find my house being raided by 12 CID. Then I kind of roll into Racquels. I still went to Racquels that night, went to work, normal Racquels that night. Everything's normal. And again, same the week after, I'm just like getting on and going, fucking hell, thank God I got away with that and everything was fine. And like nobody had anything at all, not even like a little joint or anything in the house. And so I was like, oh, phew. I haven't been got into trouble anyway, thank God. And thank God, thank God. Um, so normal week at work, then go to Rachel's on the Friday night, end of the night, get the apple, go home, then Leah Betts' party, then we know the whole story. So it was just like bam, 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 what's going on? And I really did kind of think too much more about this whole raid. But now I know an awful lot more about everything and how these things work. And when I've traced it back, I kind of even when I looked back for a long while, I thought it happened after the Leah situation, not before. And I don't know where they were getting the information from. There was blatant bad houses and stuff going on that there was loads of dealing going from. Seriously. But my house was not like that. So where was this information coming to and why am I being raided? So that's where I was and hadn't thought about it again. And then we know fast forward right up till now. And I'm like, was somebody setting me up? There seems to be a lot of setups going on, a lot of setups going on with all around this whole thing. And Essex Place do not seem to be very honest about the whole thing, shall we say. So just 1 month ago, I did a SAR request, a subject access request to Essex Police to provide me with any information and data and record they have on why my house was raided that night and sent them the warrant sheet, sent them the evidence, and said, "What have you got on record for me on this date and around this week?" And today I've had a letter back. I'm just gonna have a coffee and I'll be right back.